Hey everybody, just here to talk about TJ Mckay's The Fall of Selvandrea. I'm about 100 pages into the book. That's chapter 10. And so far, what I have experienced in this book is TJ Mckay is a very skilled author at describing um, quite brutal carnage, and just relentless slaughter in the first bit of his book. But he does it in a way where he doesn't demean the value of life. The only other book I've ever seen that has had this effect has been Game of Thrones. If anybody's read Game of Thrones, they kill quite a few characters, but you're always shocked at a death because he does it quite skillfully and in a way where you don't see death all the time. Um, a lot of people are dying in the book, but it's a very hard thing to do, and it's very hard to explain. I'll get more into how to do it in my writing tip videos as well. But so far, I am quite enjoying the book because although right off the hop he does quite the slaughter, and because you're just basically thrown in the book and at the end of a war, and you're introduced to the main character, and the main character he almost dies, and but he does get saved, and the person who saves him gives him quite the surprise. And after that surprise, he ends up in this kind of cavern type thing, and he needs to try and make his way out. A dragon actually runs into him and tries to kill him right off the hop. And then somehow, throughout as the chapters go on, it seems like him and this dragon form some kind of a bond, and he ends up getting quite the magical capability through it, and he can it comes off as he can pause time and go through a whole bunch of uh, like in physics, it states that the future is always moving and you have a whole bunch of options at your disposal, and it's almost like he can pause time and take a look at all of those options and see their results before he actually decides to do one. And it comes off as when he's going through the book, it comes off as this guy has almost like ninja-like capabilities. It's actually very cool, and he can control a knife and a sword with his mind, and just have this knife flying all around and hacking people up. And there's also these spheres that he has as well that he launches at people and shatters their bones. It's quite enjoyable. I'm enjoying it so far, and he's done a really good job in crafting this story. You can tell that he is one author that before he wrote his book, he broke down. He read his favorite author and he read it with intent and broke down a whole bunch of books to see how other successful authors um, were able to craft their stories, and he actually took a lot of what other authors have done, and implemented them in his own story. I can definitely tell that Martin, the one who crafts the Game of Thrones, is probably a big inspiration to Mckay. I mean, it very much comes across that way. But I'll probably read more of the book today. It's approximately a little over 600 pages long, and it's the first installment in the series. So I believe TJ Mckay is currently working on his second book. I would highly suggest to go out and buy this book. You can find it on Amazon if you have Kindle. It's very affordable. I myself, I read with Kindles. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me show TJ Mckay's book on the Kindle. The reason why I do Kindle and not physical copies, if other parents are watching, it's because of kids. I have a 4 and a 2-year-old, and toddlers, they can't rip up they can't rip up an electronic copy. When you have a 4 and a 2-year-old little girl, whenever you buy a physical copy of a book, that book becomes a coloring book. It doesn't matter which book you buy, it's gonna end up becoming a coloring book with a 4 and 2 year old little girl. So that's why I read Kindle copies with e-files, as well as audiobooks as well. So if anybody wants to submit a book request, go on to bowlersbookreviews.com. I also take audiobook requests as well. So if you have an audiobook that you want reviewed, I'd be more than happy to follow through with that. Anyway, subscribe to my channel, hit like and comment, and again, I will try to reply to every single comment that people leave. Thank you very much.